Hey buddy, today we're doing a Speed Turtle EFM 3.0 install on the Yukon using the plug and play harness supplied by them. Let's get after it, see how it works out. Okay, to start this install, we're going to get under the dashboard. This is the OBD2 connector. Your body control module sits just behind and above that connector. There's going to be 4 plugs on it: a white, a gray, a blue, and a pink. Just to be clear, the pink one can look almost white or lavender purplish color under low light. Kind of hard to determine what color it is, but it is pink when all said and done. So we're going to unplug those 4 plugs from the BCM, and then these plugs, pink, gray, white, and blue, will plug into the BCM, and then the original OEM wiring that went to the BCM will then plug into the female side of the Speed Turtle wiring harness. I'm going to do that real quick and I'll be back with you. Alright, we're back in the truck and I have it all hooked up. Pretty simple plug and play, with the exception of the pink plug looking more like a very light lavender, almost white in low light. Even in full light, it looks still very light purple. But that is what GM is calling pink. So got it all plugged in, got it all wired up. Now there's really no wiring for it, it's just plug and play. Once I got it plugged in, I did hook it up to the laptop in the truck, as you can see here. The 2 square green buttons here, update and configure. I did do an update, updated it to the latest and greatest of the software for the module, and then I went through and did the configuring. So with this, I hooked up the toggle switch. By using the toggle switch with it, it gives me 2 options. The toggle switch would be switch 1, and you can choose the pattern you want for switch 1, and switch 1 will have priority. The other switch is the integrated switch. I'm able to select a completely different pattern for the integrated switch. The integrated switch on the Yukon is the hazard button. You just quickly depress it twice and it activates the strobe effect. If it is activated via the hazard button and then you switch the toggle switch to the on position, it will take over and change the flash pattern from whatever flash pattern you have set for the integrated switch, and it will start flashing the pattern that you have set for the toggle switch, which is switch 1. There are some other options that you can buy a different harness from Speed Turtle that allows you to have 2 inputs, which I believe could give you up to 4 different patterns. Not 100% sure about that, but just based on how this has worked, I'm guessing you could do up to 4. Because you'd have the integrated switch you could put a pattern on, and then switch 1 could have a pattern, switch 2 could have a different pattern, and then if you have switches 1 and 2 turned on, it gives you a switch 3. And it does have settings, as you can see: switch 1, switch 2, switch 3, integrated switch. Also park. So I'm guessing you could probably put even a fifth pattern under the park. That is, anytime the transmission's in park, it'll do that pattern, and I believe that pattern is priority over even switch 1. So I may do a little bit of tweaking with that. I've already went through, I set my integrated switch to pattern 1 and switch 1 to pattern 8. So those are just the patterns that I liked the best for what it looked like. So I may go back through now and mess with the park option and see if that is even better. Have 3 patterns available to me. I may do the park pattern with a calmer flash pattern so that it is not as aggressively flashing. 8 and 1 are pretty aggressive. Also, whenever you activate either the switch or the hazard to activate the module, it does a slow flash of the fog lamp indicator, whether the fog lights are flashing in that pattern or not. That's just an indication that the module is activated and flashing your lights. I guess that's so maybe during the daytime, if you accidentally turned it on or forgot to turn it off, you would have some visual reminder on the dash that that's still activated. And that's about it. So I'll come back later this evening after it gets a little darker, so we can get a little better effect on camera of the flash patterns. And I'll see you then. I just wanted to give you a quick view of the fog light indicator flashing when you activate the module. I'm going to activate it now. And you can see the fog light indicator flashing, letting you know that the outside lights are flashing, the module is activated. So I'll be back in a little while with the evening, nighttime flash patterns on the outside, depending on which one. I also did configure the park separately. I believe I configured it to flash pattern 3, I believe, and it's a little calmer. It still definitely gets your attention, but it's not as crazy as the other ones. So I'll see how it works out, and if I don't like it, it's super simple to just plug in and change the flash patterns. You can choose which lights. If there's a flash pattern you like but you don't want, say, the headlights to flash, you can disable the headlights. If you don't want the reverse lights, you can disable that. The only thing I wish it did do, I wish you could add in a light. There was a couple of patterns that I really liked, but it didn't flash the fog lights. So I wish I could have added the fog lights to that pattern, but unfortunately I just found one that the fog lights flashed and I still liked it. So almost too many choices, to be honest with you. There's so many options. 10 patterns per switch, and then all of the lights you can choose to all the lights that are activated in that pattern, you can choose to enable or disable those particular lights, so you can tweak it. And then also found out, even with the say switch number 1, the toggle switch, even with it activated, you can hit the hazard button once and it'll enable the hazard lights to flash just like factory, along with the other pattern. So like I said, almost too many choices. I'm sure I'll end up playing with it and changing it depending on how I like it at night and what have you. So I'll be back with the patterns at night. Okay, I wanted to come back kind of dusk. I was a little worried that pitch black would give a little too much overexposure trying to film it at night. So I'm gonna start off. The truck is in park, and you can set the park flash mode. There's the turn signals and the side mirrors are flashing. This is what it looks like from the front. You can see it. The daytime running lights and turn signals are strobing. Let's see. There we go. So when the headlights are turned on, it stops the headlights from flashing. Now you can disable that function in the configuration. I left it enabled just so it would be wouldn't cut in and out if I have these on while I'm driving around a job site. Now we'll go to the back. And this is what it looks like from the back. This is probably the most mild of the three I chose. Go ahead and turn that off. Drop it down into drive and activate the module with the hazard button. Again, you can see slightly different pattern flash on the side mirrors. It is very similar in the front with this pattern, except for, I don't know if you can tell, it does a wag, meaning that it kind of jumps left to right as opposed to both sides strobing at the same time. Headlights wag, all of that. We'll go around back. It's going to be very similar from the back, with the exception that now it has added in the turn signals on the strobing in the back. This is probably my favorite one from the back. And now I'll trigger those off, and we'll go with the toggle switch, which is switch 1 in the configuration. And this one is definitely the most aggressive. It has high beams, low beams, fogs, daytime running lights, turn signals, everything flashing at the same time. And of course, we've got the side turns in the mirrors flashing pretty rapidly. And then from the back, this is what it looks like. So there you go. That's 3 patterns using the toggle switch, the hazard activation, and the park activation. Speaking of, let me put it back in park. So that's about it. I really like it. I have enjoyed it pretty good so far. It's been fun playing with the configurations and getting the lights to do what I want them to do. The Installation was, I mean, super easy. Literally just unplug 4 plugs on your body control module and plug their wiring harness in line with it, and you're done. After that, it's just configuring everything. I would recommend using the toggle switch. That way you get 3 patterns instead of 2. There's also another harness you can get from them that would allow you to get, I believe, up to 5 patterns. Pretty neat setup, not bad for the price. So, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.